Did we just spot a villain, Kevin Harlan? Was that Dillon Brooks underneath the basket?
Wow. All I could see was ice.
Dillon Brooks just pulled one of the most ruthless moves the NBA has witnessed in a long time. The dude actually bought a courtside seat at a Lakers playoff matchup just so he could watch LeBron James suffer up close and personal. And here's the crazy part, he does not even play for the Thunder anymore. Dillon showed up purely for the drama. Cameras kept catching him sitting there with iced-out chains, looking way too joyful every time the Lakers ruined a possession. Every missed shot, every turnover, every awfully moment, Brooks looked like he was enjoying a front-row comedy show. Quick question for the comments. Is this the pettiest move the NBA has witnessed in years, or did Dillon Brooks officially secure his lifetime villain badge with this one? Because honestly, how many people would spend actual money on a courtside playoff ticket just to troll somebody they don't like? That takes a different level of commitment. Dillon Brooks treats grudges like valued possessions. He never lets anything slide, never forgets a moment, and always finds a way to bring old drama back at the worst possible time for the opposing side. And frankly, this latest stunt might be the most hilarious thing to happen all postseason. Harden picks up the Thunder foul, what we've seen in aggressive LeBron James. The Lakers were battling for survival in Game 4 against the Thunder. Their backs were entirely against the wall, down 3-0 in the series. Crypto.com Arena felt tense. Fans were anxious. The broadcast is saying Harden picks up the Thunder foul. Meanwhile, the most relaxed guy in the building, what we've seen in aggressive Dillon Brooks. Not sitting on the bench, not wearing a jersey, not even involved in the series. The man flew in from Phoenix, grabbed himself a premium courtside seat, and settled in just to watch LeBron possibly get eliminated from the playoffs right in front of him. What too, as we continue to talk about in all our broadcasts together, is the team that. That is elite tier pettiness. Think about the effort behind this mission. Booking the flight, locking down the hotel, buying one of the most pricey seats in the arena, planning the outfit, making sure the chains shined under the lights, and sitting in perfect camera range so everyone watching at home could see that smirk every single time the Lakers collapsed during a play. This was not some random celebrity appearance. This looked like a fully calculated trolling operation. Everything about it screamed focused revenge energy. Dillon Brooks looked like a guy who had been waiting a long time for a moment exactly like this. And the background makes this whole situation even crazier. The tension between Dillon Brooks and LeBron James goes all the way back to the 2023 playoffs when the Memphis Grizzlies played the Lakers in the first round. Memphis came into that matchup feeling assured as the higher seed, and Brooks made it his personal mission to get inside LeBron's head every opportunity he got. Trash talk during games, hard fouls, remarks to the media, relentless pressure. Brooks turned the entire series into psychological warfare. He wanted everyone talking about him, and truthfully, it worked. And when they start making a run, there are some people, Lakers are making that run, they get it to 14, you and LeBron have that exchange. There are folks out there that say, maybe you shouldn't do that with one of the better players in the game. What were you considering in that? I don't care. He's old. You know what I mean? I was waiting for that. I was anticipating him to do that Game 4, Game 5. He wanted to say something when I got my fourth foul. He shouldn't have said that earlier on. But I poke bears. I don't respect no one till they come. At one point, Brooks even tossed out,
And when they started making a run.
There are some people, the Lakers are making that run, they get it to 14. You and LeBron have that exchange. There are people out there that say, maybe you shouldn't do that with one of the better players in the game. What were you thinking?
I don't care, he's old. You know what I mean? I was waiting for that. I was expecting him to do that Game 4, Game 5. He wanted to say something when I got my fourth foul. He shouldn't have said that earlier on. But, I poke bears. I don't respect no one until they come.
Now famous quote that NBA fans still bring up today whenever these two names are connected. Lakers fans certainly have not forgotten it either. That entire series created genuine bad blood between them, and ever since then, every little interaction has felt personal. So when people saw Dillon Brooks smiling courtside while the Lakers struggled, nobody thought it was accidental. This felt like years of tension turning into one loud, petty message right in front of the cameras. Dillon Brooks really started this whole drama back when he told reporters that LeBron James was old. He said he did not care about his reputation, did not care about the spotlight, and was essentially waiting for LeBron to come after him because, in his own words, I poke bears. Then he dropped the line that had the entire basketball world going insane. Brooks stated he does not respect anybody until they give him 40 points. At the time, Brooks was seen as more of a role player than a superstar. Most players in the league would never talk about LeBron like that in public, but Brooks said it casually, grinned like it was nothing, and walked away while NBA media exploded all over social media. The Lakers ended up defeating Memphis in 6 games, and after the series, LeBron fired back on Instagram with the line everyone remembers, "If you ever see me fighting a grizzly bear, help the bear." That post was supposed to end the entire rivalry right there. Lakers fans thought Brooks got ashamed, humbled, and sent home with a lesson. For about a week, people acted like the feud was finished, except Dillon Brooks clearly did not see it that way. Instead of backing down, he basically locked the loss away and kept the rivalry alive in his own mind. Most players would have moved on by then. Brooks kept the energy going like he was building a private scoreboard nobody else could see. Then last December, he brought even more heat to the situation. During another press session, Brooks took another jab at LeBron and said, "LeBron likes people who bow down. I do not bow down." That quote went everywhere. Sports pages posted it, debate shows talked about it nonstop, and basketball fans debated over it for weeks. Brooks knows exactly how to create headlines. Whether people love him or hate him, he understands how to turn trash talk into viral moments better than almost anybody in the league right now. Then came this postseason chaos. The Suns had a rough playoff run and got knocked out by the Thunder in the first round. Meanwhile, that same Thunder squad moved on and started ripping through the Lakers in round 2. At that point, Brooks had 0 games left to play. His season was done. Most NBA players in that situation disappear for a while. Some hit the beach, some travel overseas, some relax with family, and stay far away from basketball headlines. Not Dillon Brooks. This guy decided the ideal way to spend his free time was buying a courtside ticket to a Lakers playoff matchup so he could personally watch LeBron's season possibly fall apart in real time. That is next-level dedication to a grudge. When cameras caught him during the second quarter of Game 4, social media instantly went wild. Brooks sat there covered in jewelry, smiling peacefully like he was enjoying the greatest night ever. Every bad Lakers possession looked like it gave him more energy. Even the broadcast crew couldn't ignore it. Did we just spot a villain, Kevin Harlan? Was that Dillon Brooks underneath the basket? Wow, all I could see was ice. Kevin Harlan and the commentators started laughing on air about whether they had just spotted the NBA's top villain sitting courtside. You could hear them laughing because the entire situation looked surreal. And once the clip hit the internet, it spread everywhere within minutes. The timing made it even worse for the Lakers. The Thunder were already controlling the series with a 3-0 lead. Analysts across the league were praising Oklahoma City for looking unbeatable, while the Lakers
were getting torched nonstop on TV shows, podcasts, live streams, and every sports page online. Everywhere you looked, people were roasting the Lakers. Then, on top of all that, fans noticed Dillon Brooks sitting courtside, smiling through the chaos like he had been waiting years for this exact scene to happen. The Lakers were not just losing anymore, they were losing in front of one of their biggest rivals, and Brooks looked like he was enjoying every second of it. And while Dillon Brooks was sitting courtside smiling, there was also a complete basketball disaster happening for the Lakers on the floor. LeBron James has looked annoyed for most of this series. Fans have seen the complaints to referees, the long arguments after missed calls, the slow jogs back on defense, and those moments where the offense totally stalls out late in games. It has been building up game after game. Game 2 ended in a nasty 18-point loss. Then in Game 3, LeBron shot just 36.8% from the field and only scored 4 points in the fourth quarter. For a player held to superstar standards, those numbers immediately became a massive talking point online. Now, Game 4 was heading in the exact wrong direction. At halftime, the Lakers were trailing 49-45, and the offense looked completely out of sync again. Possessions seemed rushed, players looked uncertain, and the pressure inside the arena kept growing with every missed opportunity. Meanwhile, Dillon Brooks had a flawless front-row view of all of it. The entire series has felt like a slow ticking toward elimination, and Brooks looked like he was enjoying every second of the madness unfolding in front of him. Even the broadcast crew started getting into the deeper tactical side of the story during Brooks's viral courtside moment. They pointed out that LeBron was averaging only 3 free throw attempts per game in this series. Just 3. You know, that number popped out because in the previous round against Houston, he was getting closer to 8 attempts per game. So naturally, people started questioning what changed against Oklahoma City. The commentators explained that the Thunder have brought way more physical pressure to the matchup, and honestly, it has shown from the opening tip every night. Oklahoma City has been setting the tone early with aggressive defense, nonstop pressure, and constant physical play. When a team controls the energy like that from the start, it often affects how the entire game gets officiated too, and that has been one of the major differences in this series. The Thunder have looked stronger, faster, and more comfortable playing through contact. They dictate the pace, they pressure every possession, and they force the Lakers into awkward situations over and over again. Meanwhile, the Lakers have looked frustrated trying to adapt to that style. There have been moments where players seemed more focused on wanting calls from basketball better than most. His entire career has been built around physical defense, constant pressure, and making opponents miserable.
So from his perspective, he was probably watching the Lakers struggle with the exact kind of playoff
Like the series was still hanging in the balance. It felt like classic playoff TV filler meant to keep fans emotionally locked in, even while the Lakers were falling further toward elimination. Meanwhile, the ending before the game even started. Lakers fans inside the arena were clearly not loving the situation either. Online reactions got ruthless quickly. Some fans joked that arena security should have moved Brooks somewhere less visible. Others laughed about the Lakers supposedly offering him money just to leave the building. And plenty of people pointed out how wild it was that a Phoenix Suns player flew in purposely to enjoy a Lakers collapse in person. That detail alone had social media going insane. And honestly, the Lakers could not do anything about it even if they wanted to. Brooks bought the ticket legally. He was a paying customer sitting in his designated seat. The organization could not ban him, move him, or tell him to stop responding to the game. The chain stayed on, the smile stayed on, and every camera shot made the whole situation even more viral. The truth is, Dillon Brooks has spent years working toward moments exactly like this. He has totally embraced being one of the NBA's biggest villains, and at this point, it is basically his brand. Because let's be real, Brooks is not viewed as one of the league's top superstars. He's not constantly in MVP conversations, and most rankings would not place him near the highest tier of NBA talent. But what he does have is attention. Brooks realized something a lot of players never understand. In today's NBA, personality matters nearly as much as performance. If fans are constantly talking about you, debating you, arguing over you, or reacting to your interviews, you stay relevant, and Brooks has conquered that lane completely. His entire reputation is built around challenging bigger stars, talking trash without hesitation, and creating tension-filled moments that people remember long after games end. Some fans cannot tolerate him. Other fans love the energy he brings, but either way, people keep talking about him constantly. That type of player becomes highly valuable in playoff basketball. Teams know Brooks brings toughness, intensity, and emotional chaos to big series. He's the kind of player that drives rivals crazy while his own team feeds off the energy. Every playoff run needs somebody willing to be the instigator, and Brooks turned that role into a major part of his career.
Identity. And this courtside appearance was another perfect example of it. Every shot of him laughing became viral content online. Every close-up of the chains, the grin, and the reaction spread across social media within minutes. Basketball pages reposted the clips non-stop because Brooks understands modern sports entertainment better than most players do. He knows attention is currency now. Years ago, when Brooks first called LeBron old, the basketball world acted like he had crossed a huge line. Fans roasted him non-stop. Analysts called him disrespectful. Everybody rallied around LeBron, while Brooks became public enemy number one for even saying it out loud. But now look at the conversations happening around the league. People everywhere are freely debating whether LeBron can still lead a team deep into the playoffs at this stage of his career. Sports shows discuss it daily. Podcasts bring it up constantly. Every Lakers loss turns into another massive age debate online. Even major basketball personalities have started questioning where things stand now. Charles Barkley has made jokes. Other former players have criticized the Lakers' direction. Analysts keep asking whether this version of LeBron can still dominate physically against younger, faster, more aggressive playoff teams. And that is what makes the Brooks situation so complicated for Lakers fans. Back in 2023, Brooks got crushed publicly for saying what many people are now discussing openly. At the time, the basketball world treated him like he was completely out of line. 3 years later, similar conversations are happening everywhere. So now Brooks gets to sit courtside watching the exact storyline he talked about years ago become one of the biggest topics in basketball. That has to feel rewarding for him. What also changed is the dynamic between the two players themselves. Earlier in the rivalry, LeBron responded directly. He posted the famous Grizzly Bear caption, fired back through social media, and clearly treated the feud like private motivation during the playoffs. Now things feel different. Brooks is no longer just the noisy underdog trying to get attention from a superstar. At this point, he looks more like somebody watching the basketball world slowly catch up to his original take. And the craziest part, Brooks barely even needs to talk anymore. Before, he needed press conferences and interviews to spark controversy. Now the cameras do all the work for him. One courtside shot of him smiling during a Lakers collapse tells the whole story without him saying a single word. By the end of the night, Dillon Brooks did not need interviews, tweets, or trash talk to grab attention from the game. One courtside appearance was enough to set the whole basketball world on fire. Fans kept zooming in on every reaction he made. Every Lakers mistake had people watching the broadcast just to see Brooks laughing again. It almost felt like he became part of the storyline instead of just a spectator sitting in the crowd. And the timing made everything hit even harder. The Lakers were already fighting harsh criticism, already dealing with nonstop questions about their future, and already struggling against a younger Thunder squad that looked faster and more physical from beginning to end. Then, right in the middle of all that pressure, there was Dillon Brooks, sitting courtside in full villain mode, watching it all happen live like he had been waiting years for this exact
moment. That is why the clip blew up online so quickly. It was not just about basketball anymore. It became another chapter in one of the NBA's messiest rivalries. And Brooks somehow found a way to make himself one of the biggest talking points of the playoffs without even stepping on the court once. Dillon Brooks really turned a random playoff game into one of the most talked about moments of the postseason without playing a single minute. That is the kind of chaos only he can create. One courtside seat, one camera shot, and suddenly the entire NBA world is debating pettiness, rivalries, and whether Brooks just pulled off the craziest troll move of the year. And honestly, the wildest part is that this rivalry still feels miles from over. Every time these names get connected, the internet goes crazy again. Love him or hate him, Brooks knows exactly how to keep himself in the headlines. Now, I want to hear from you. Was Dillon Brooks being comical? Or did he take the trolling much too far? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this with another NBA fan who needs to see this story. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.